The average retirement age in the United States is 62 years old, with the average expected retirement age 65 years old. But if you talk to most Americans, they'd love to retire much, much sooner. My goal, my plan, if everything stays on track, is for myself to retire from the workforce at age 60, but I could have retired much, much sooner if I'd have just done a few simple things different. Number one, and this fits into the cliche of you don't know what you have until it's gone, and that is time. I wish I'd have started investing and saving money way, way earlier in my life. And that's not to say I didn't save anything. When I was in my mid-20s, I certainly saved some, 1 or 2% of my paycheck to my work 401k, things like that. But I really wasn't paying attention to what it was invested in, and I kept it as minimal as possible. Something inside me said I need to do something, even though I didn't really have any reason why I was doing that. I wasn't paying attention to the investments it was going into, but I'm so glad that I did something. But time on your side is the number one thing you can use to your advantage. So if you're a young person, if you're under 30, if you're just out of college, whatever, even if you're in your early 40s, you still have some time to catch up. I'm just north of 50, and I'm maxing out what I can save now to catch up for those years that I missed back when I was a little bit younger. Even putting more back per month now that I'm north of 50, will never make up for the compound interest growth I would have experienced given all that time for my money to grow. 2, I would have prioritized spending money over my 50 years on this planet in a little bit different way. Certainly you don't want to become some sort of miser Scrooge that just piles up money in a savings account or an investment account and never lives life and has fun. But there were a lot of things that we bought over the years that we could have avoided paying too much for or buying it all. If you watch any sort of finance YouTube, you know number one expense we could have saved money on over the years is cars. All of our married life, I've been married to my wife since I was 20 years old, so we've been married 31 years now, going on 31 years. Actually going on 32 years. That the entire time we were married, we never had extravagant cars really. Not until later in life did we really start getting nicer cars, but we always bought new cars. We were always afraid of the used cars, always buying new to be safe with breakdowns, safe with maintenance, have that warranty. That was kind of beat into her head from her parents. I didn't know anything about cars growing up, and I just went along for the ride on that. But later on, we figured out we could have saved a ton of money buying used cars and keeping those used cars, keeping them well maintained and keeping them for a long, long time, rather than trading out of them every 3 to 4 to 5 years, which we sometimes did. Number 3, this kind of goes along with number 1, which is time, but early on, I wish I would have maxed out that 401k match with every employer that I've been at. I didn't do that always. I was always doing just a little bit in, not getting that full match. And of course, eventually, everyone watching, you want to be way above that match. But if I'd have gotten that employer match early on, I would have had a much bigger nest egg to be able to retire earlier than I'm going to get to. This is a hard one because with YouTube and social media, there's much more education available now than there was then. But the next thing that would have helped me retire earlier was just to have better financial education. There were still books available, there were still magazines available back when I was in my 20s and 30s. But I was in that messy middle just like many of you might be. And when you're in that messy middle and you're not thinking about the future, everything seems right now and urgent. You don't try to educate yourself on finances and you're just worried about spending for today and how you're going to make that rent next month a lot of times. So if you're a little bit younger, in your 20s, 30s, early 40s and watching this, educate yourself all you can. If you're watching this video, you're already out there trying to find some financial education, but there's so many resources at our fingertips these days. So much of it is free. So educate yourself as early as possible. If I would have done that, I probably could have retired a lot earlier. And the last factor that affected probably all the other factors, especially the saving money, is avoiding debt. And that's credit card debt, car payments, any sort of consumer debt like that. Of course, most people have a mortgage. You want to try to get that paid off. We were blessed to fall into a 2.25% mortgage rate. We're not really urgently trying to chase that and pay that off right now. But over the last 5 years especially, we have locked in on not carrying debt. We do have credit cards. We use credit cards, but never month-to-month balances, no financing furniture, none of that. Now, in the years past, we definitely carried some debt, definitely had some credit cards that we had to get caught up on, definitely had those new car loans that I already brought up. We want to avoid that going forward, and if you can avoid that as you're coming up and getting ready for retirement, you will definitely be able to retire a lot earlier, and it probably would have helped us hit that date, or helped me hit that date even sooner. Well, that's just a few things that's going to prevent me from checking out of the workforce even earlier than I would like to. Do you have a target retirement age, a retirement date, or just a magic number that's going to trigger you to check out of the workforce? Put that in the comments as well. I'd love to see those. Appreciate y'all watching this. Remember, as you're planning for the future, don't forget to live for today. We'll see y'all next time.